Hey y'all, I'm here for my Friday Night Live. I'm more or better with time. It's only 9:07, y'all. Don't know who all's gonna join, but like last week, I'm gonna be on here for about 5 minutes and then I'm gonna jump off. Just see if y'all have any questions about nursing or anything else, y'all. Oh, I got my earbuds turned on. Hey y'all. Hi, tossing distractions. I'm just on here for about 5 minutes, see if anybody comes in, see if anybody had any questions about nursing. You can ask a question. Hello, Holy. It's oh, I think that's how that's pronounced. Okay, y'all. I'm just on here, just waiting to see if some people come on if they have any questions about nursing. What can what kind of nursing do you do? Currently, oh, thank you, Holy. It's currently I work with the disabled. I'm a BSN. Okay, we're at 4:22. I'm gonna end the live probably about 5. Just seeing if anybody had any questions about nursing. People like to call medical assistant. What do you think about that? I mean, they're not nurses. It's almost to the point where if anybody throw on a pair of scrubs, people automatically assume they're a nurse. Not the people wearing the scrub, but I'm saying the public automatically assumes you're a nurse because, at one point, scrubs, nurses. And at one point, there were like CNAs who would say they were nurses. Or if somebody would assume they were nurses, they would go with it, which, I mean, when I was a CNA, I told people I was a CNA. I didn't feel the need to tell anybody I was a nurse. And when I became an LPN, I was an LPN. I didn't feel the need to say I was an RN. And now I'm a BSN nurse, a BSN RN, an RN with a bachelor's degree. I don't feel the need to tell anybody I'm a nurse practitioner because I don't claim things that I'm not. So I guess people do what they do for whatever reasons. I'm just long as I'm getting paid what I'm supposed to get paid, I'm fine. Yeah, I don't feel the need to say why lie. For me, I feel like if you I know there are people who are one thing and have aspirations of being the other thing, then go and become the other thing if that's what you want to be. Because lying about it seems like it's almost, um, it makes me think something is wrong with you mentally when you have to lie about something like that. Then and when it's especially when that's a lie that's easy to disprove. So why lie? My daughter, she entering school for nursing, to get her LPN, and before she's actually just started. And I asked her already, do you think you're gonna go for your RN? She told me flat out, no, LPN is fine. She's like, LPN is fine. And I'm not even gonna lie. I don't think she's doing it for the love of the job, which I've always said. I don't feel like you have to love your job. Like, I don't feel like you have to. I don't want you to be miserable in your job. I don't feel like you should stay on any job that's making you miserable. But I'm not gonna lie, she's going to school to become a nurse for the financial aspect of it because where she currently works, she gets paid good, but they're doing layoffs and she's like, I'm tired of being on the edge about am I gonna have a job tomorrow, next month, next year. She wants something more stable and she know I always had a job. I always kept a job when I wanted one because there were periods of time with my nursing degree that I didn't want to work, especially when I was younger, when I was in my 20s. But she wants a job that she knows she'll have some stability because she don't want somebody telling her tomorrow we laying you off and now she has to go and look for a job and might not find one paying what she's making currently. So she's doing it for the stability, but I told her you can do it because you want to be stable financially and in your career. But remember those are people's lives that you're gonna be working with and taking care of. I don't know what she'll go with, like what specialty she'll go into. I don't know if she wants to work in a doctor's office. I'm just off an assumption. I'm going to assume that she's probably want to go into maybe long-term care or something that's going to pay pretty decent. For what she's making now, she could probably go in a doctor's office and make that, or she could work in. I know she's not going to go in the prison setting, correctional setting. I know she's not going to do that. She could do in long-term care. She could do home health, but that would be my reason to go to. But I would love to have the passion. Yeah, I tell people all the time, tossing dish. I didn't have a passion to be a nurse. If I could choose a career right now and not be a nurse, and tomorrow could walk into that other career, I probably would do it. I don't have the passion for nursing, but I do have a passion for people. Like, so I would never. I don't want to cause anybody any harm. I especially have a passion for the elderly and for children. Those two are, the part of the vulnerable population. I have a passion for the elderly and for children. Now, I could have served that passion in another career. It didn't even have to be in nursing. Like I used to tell my kids all the time, when y'all get older, I'm going to become a foster mother. because I just want to take care of kids. Like, I just want to take care of kids who are going through abuse or neglect. Just show kids that somebody love you. Cause I love kids. Period. I don't care what color they are. What I love kids. Now I don't know how to manage. I hate to call kids bad because I don't like to say kids are bad, but I don't like disrespectful kids. I don't like being around disrespectful kids, but I do love kids. So, and I love the elderly. So I'm not gonna do anything to harm either one. I wouldn't harm anybody, but the elderly and kids, I love kids, and I could have served that passion without even being a nurse. But being a nurse puts me in puts me in the vicinity of those two populations. Now I can't work with kids as a nurse because I can't like see sick kids. I think I'll break down more than the parents. They would have to console me. So I can't work as a nurse with kids, but yeah, I've thought about being a foster parent, and like my youngest, he's 20 and he's autistic, and it's a lot to managing him. It takes basically the whole household to work together with him. But if I could, I would open up like a day center for just autistic kids. I would love to do that because I feel like how I handled my son with his autism, I think a lot of kids with autistic need to be like handled. Like when I talk to him like this. He's nonverbal. I wish I would have jumped on his speech therapy like more intensely than what I did when when he was diagnosed. He was 3. It was 17 years ago. I just thought, he go to speech therapy in school and before he got in school. But if I would have came out of pocket and paid for more extensive speech therapy, I would have done that. But I'm not saying I can't do it now, but I actually kind of make him talk now. Like when he responds to me, I make him respond to me verbally, even though I can't understand everything he's saying. But I just feel like some people with autistic kids, they just feel like, oh, he'll never learn. They'll never learn. They can't do this. They can't. No. And then some of the behaviors they have can be avoided. You just have to offer them distractions. So if I could, I would open up like a day center for autistic kids. But yeah, you don't have to have the passion for it. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You can go into nursing because you want to be able to be financially stable for your family, but you can't. You don't have to have a passion for nursing, but you have to have compassion for people. I'm gonna just say it like that. What was your first emergency with a patient as a nurse that would seem to give me anxiety? And maybe I will get used to it if I decided. Okay, so let me talk about not my first cold. I've had colds in long term care with those patients there, but we don't do as much in long-term care when there's a cold. So you if they are, well, first, if if they look like things are getting a little murky, I try to send them out to the hospital like immediately. But I've had to run a cold in long-term care, and it's not as extensive as in the hospital because you do your compressions, you give them the air, and you start your compressions, and basically really all you can do is compressions, CPR, basically basic CPR in the nursing home. So I do remember doing that. I don't remember if it was my first one, but it wasn't as intense as my first cold. My first cold in the hospital, y'all, I felt like a fish out of water. It's more to it than just CPR. You starting out with CPR, but then you got a whole team, a physician, somebody coming in from, I think nurses came in from the nurse practitioner. I think it was a nurse practitioner came in, a physician. You just had all kind of people coming in the room, and they're counting, they're like taking the time with the minutes and um, pulling up the drugs on the card, getting it ready for them to do, whether they're gonna do epi or whatever they're gonna inject. That was intense, y'all. I felt like a fish out of water. I didn't know what I was doing. It was a cold that you practice for in training, but when you actually are in it, y'all, I still don't even I still like. And then the doctor was asking me all kind of questions, and the cold happened so early in my shift, I didn't even have enough answers for the doctor. But this same patient coded the day before, and it just so happened that some of the same like people who were on the team, the I forgot what they called the team. I don't think it was called the cold team. Some of them were the same ones that were there the day before, so they were able to answer some of the questions that I couldn't answer because I pulled up her chart and I was looking through her chart, and then they would ask me something and I have to go look and find it. But it was so many of them in there that worked with her yesterday when the day before when she coded. Yeah, that was an emergency for me. And after that, it made me want to learn ACLS. I was like, dang, that was it was, I hate to say exciting because I don't want to be, it was exciting, y'all. It was very exciting. And I had my, basic BLS, but that made me want to learn ACLS. But I ended up quitting the hospital, and ACLS is not required in like long-term care and stuff. So I never went on to learn ACLS. But that was the first emergency, I would say emergency, intense emergency. And that's one of the reasons why I said I never want to be an ER nurse, because what ER nurses see coming through the door, I feel like I couldn't handle it. Yeah, talking about it was, yeah, I was like, goodness, that was and the way the girl coded, she just coded. I was like, ooh, and she was young. She was only like 21, but she has so much going on with her, and she was a little defiant. She didn't, they had her on bed rest. She didn't want to stay on bed rest. She kept trying to get up out the bed, and she had a family member on the phone, and she was calling and crying, complaining to the family member because we wouldn't let her get out the bed. And she was saying she was in so much pain. But one of the issues was the pain medication. Even the lowest dose, it seemed to almost like stop her heart. I don't know. It was just because the doctor didn't even want to give her just oxycodone and like an oxy. He wouldn't even give her like an oxy 5. He would give her like an oxy 2.5. It was, yeah. So and then we had her. They did get her back. She coded, but they did bring her back, and then they had to rush her to, I think they rushed her to CT, and I had to go with her down to CT because I had to go. She was my patient, so I had to hook her up to the Zoll, which is the basically EKG machine, and I had to go down to CT with her. But then I was able, after I was able to leave the CT, they moved her to, of course, another floor, but I was able to still follow her in the computer as to what different floors she was going to, because they didn't take me out of her chart because I was still her nurse for that day when she was on the floor, so I had the chart on her. And I just know by the end of my shift she was still alive. I do know that because I kept looking. I was like, I was feeling so like 21. She was so young. But yeah, by the end of my shift she was still alive. But I said, I need to learn ACLS because, yeah, that was intense. And ACLS is when you actually learn about giving the medication that you like the epi, and I think what was it they could give, what was it, let me look, y'all, I can't remember. I know epi was one of them. Let me look up all the drugs, y'all. I can't remember. um, oh, okay. Oh, it's a lot of them. So admitiron, atropine, epinephrine, lidocaine, adenosine, dopamine, magnesium, vasopressin. I can't remember. I can't name all these drugs, but yeah, I wanted to learn all of that because I was like, if that ever happened again, I want to be prepared. But so yeah. But yeah, I never wanted the excitement. That's why I never even thought about ER. And what is on my wall? Look like something on. That must be something on my phone. But yeah. Let's see if I miss. So, are you a medical assistant thinking about merging to becoming a nurse? Yeah, I don't want that excitement. I tell people I'm preparing for retirement. I need it to be peaceful and quiet, and that's one of the reasons why the job I work, I'm not gonna lie, I probably could roll into another job and make $20,000 more a year than what I'm making as a base pay. But it's not about the money for me anymore. I'm just trying to just low key. Hello? Oh, where are you? At BP where? Y'all, let me jump off this live. My son just called me. He got a flat tire, so I'm trying to figure out where he at. But I'll talk to y'all next Friday.